What up, everybody? You already know what time it is, man. We got Gunner and Smidge here to do another review. Last time you guys had the opportunity to hear us do Starcade 83. We got quite a few we're going to do today because we're kind of behind, but we've been watching them. Still getting them going. Today we're going to do Starcade 2. We're going to do Starcade 84 from Greensboro, North Carolina. It was on November 22nd of 1984. And it was called the $1 Million Challenge. With that said, we're going to move into that and go over that a little bit, and we'll each give you our thoughts on it. It was definitely, it was definitely exciting to go back in time and watch some of these before there even was WrestleMania. A lot of people, think WrestleMania was the beginning of it all, and it really wasn't. So it was definitely good to kind of go back and touch on all that and show the boy. And now my other son is watching them. He's not going to be part of this video because he has not watched Starcade 84. And if he hasn't watched it, he ain't doing the video. So let's go ahead and move forward. Starcade 84. In the first matchup, we had Denny Brown. Again, we had him defeat Mike Davis. And this was for the Junior Heavyweight Championship. Mike Davis was the champion. Denny Brown is the new champion. I gave this match 3 stars. Thought it was alright. Wasn't the best contest. It was kind of average for a pay-per-view. So it was alright. It wasn't the most exciting. Smidge, your thoughts on the opening match of Starcade 84?
I have to give it a 3.5, just because I liked seeing I have to say there was more aggressiveness in the match than more in matches today. The match was aggressive. Didn't look fake. I can tell you that. It was a great match. I liked how they had more titles in the NWA too. Like you had your junior heavyweights, light heavyweights, heavyweights. I just liked the match in general. It was a great match.
Not bad. Next up we had Brian Adias defeating Mr. Ito. First time they were on Starcade. I gave this match a 2. I hated the match. I didn't really like it at all. I thought it was a waste of time. And with that, that's pretty much all I got for that. I was not interested in this match whatsoever. I felt like it was a waste of time.
It was, I'd have to give. Yeah, I'd also agree with you. It was a 2. It was an okay match. I just didn't like the story behind it, but they're great competitors, though.
Absolutely. Now, we got the Florida Heavyweight title next up, as the champion Jesse Barr defeated the legendary Mike Graham and retained the title. I gave this match a 3 stars. This pay-per-view was not starting off the way Starcade 83 did. It just kind of had a dry feeling, and granted, there was a lot of no-names to you people now, but if you don't know who Mike Graham is, then I suggest you YouTube him and look him up. But he took the loss, and Jesse Barr kept his Florida Heavyweight title, and I give it 3 stars.
I have to agree with you there, too. But the reason is, I liked how they had more titles, like I was saying earlier. And their titles actually meant something, unlike what they're doing with titles today. But what they're doing, they made their titles, like the Florida Championship, Junior Heavyweight Championship, mean something. It's not all about the major title. Having a smaller title was also big. It's not like they made it where a small title didn't matter anymore. I actually loved the match in general and the story behind it with the new title that I just heard about.
Absolutely. Next up we had an elimination match. The Assassin and Buzz Tyler did get the win over Elijah Hakeem and Kareem Muhammad with Paul Jones in their corner. Paul Jones at that time was one of the elite managers out there. He seemed to lose every match. His guys seemed to lose every match. But he was out there getting it done. It was alright. This is the Assassin's second match, as the Assassin one of the Assassins was on Starcade 83, and with that being said, it wasn't too bad, wasn't the best. I would have booked it a little different, but the Assassin and Buzz Tyler got the victory. I gave this match 3 stars.
I have to give it a little less than 3. I'll give it about 2.5. It was a good match. I just didn't like the story behind it. I liked how competitive they were, though. It was a good match.
Then next up we had the Brass Knuckles Heavyweight title match, in which Manny Fernandez defended his title against Black Bart. Both of them legendary. Black Bart had J.J. Dillon, the legendary J.J. Dillon, down there with him. I only gave this match 3 stars. I think they could have did a little bit better. I like the concept. Black Bart's a legend. Manny Fernandez, definitely a legend. I liked it, and it was great to watch, but still only average.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually may have to give it a 3.5, just because I've never really seen the brass knuckle match before. I just liked the match. I actually liked the brass knuckle aspect of it. I always liked more hardcore matches like brass knuckle matches and all that. I just loved the match. It's a great match.
The next 3 matches we did not get a chance to see for some strange reason, but I will tell you the results. In a loser leaves town tuxedo match, Paul Jones defeated Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant. Then we had a Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title championship match as Ron Bass successfully defended with J.J. Dillon in his corner over Dirty Dick Slater. He won it by disqualification. Then finally we had the Ivan Koloff and Nikita Koloff defeat Ole Anderson and Keith Larson with Don Kernodle in his corner. So the Koloffs get off, and that was their first Starcade. They got the win. Good to see them out there, even though I didn't get to see this match. Next up was the $10,000 television championship match. Tully Blanchard, the champion, was up against Ricky Steamboat, the challenger.
We saw this one.
Amazing, I know. An amazing match. Amazing match. I mean, not just with the names that was involved, but the match itself. I gave it 5 stars. Tully Blanchard did successfully defend his title. This gives Steamboat his first loss in the Starcades, and it was interesting to see. Definitely good back and forth between 2 legends. 5 stars all the way. I had it pretty much as the best match on the card other than the main event, without a doubt. So we had a TV champion keeping his title, Tully Blanchard doing what Tully Blanchard does.
I'm gonna give it a 5-star. I love how people like to say how Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson weren't really anything before they were a tag team. I see that wrong. In the last 2 pay-per-views, I've seen Tully Blanchard, a major champ, who has been defending and beating his last 2 opponents in the last 2 pay-per-views. I just loved it, and I liked seeing it. I've always liked Ricky Steamboat, and I've always liked his moveset, how he did his work. It's kind of a mix between more of a grappler and more of like a high flyer of the day, with Ricky Steamboat jumping off the top rope with his crossbody. I've just loved the match. It was really competitive.
Next match was alright. It was the United States Heavyweight Championship. Wahoo McDaniel, the champion, did defend his title against superstar Billy Graham. It was kind of quick. 3 stars is what I'm going to give it. Not a bad setup match for the main event. 2 legends, no question. But I think they could have did a little bit better. Wahoo McDaniel keeps his title, and like I said, I give it a 3-star.
I gotta give it a little bit higher than 3-star, just because of the story behind the match and how
Stay in the camera, man.
And how the championship was built up. They made the smaller title look like a really, really big one. So I liked how they did it, where they built up the match between superstar Billy Graham and Wahoo McDaniel. I just loved the match. It's a great match.
Not bad. Next up was the $1 million, a match for $1 million and the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Special ref, Smoking Joe Frazier. We saw the champion, Ric Flair, successfully defend his championship against the challenger, Dusty Rhodes. Epic match. I thought it was definitely the best match on the card. 5 stars. I mean, what else? Flair, Rhodes. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. I gotta say, 5-star all the way. And this was the beginning of pretty much an epic rivalry, in which we saw the titles change hands a couple times. But definitely big stuff. Ric Flair, 2-0 at Starrcade, right here. Huge win over the American Dream. Game over. Ric Flair still the man.
5-star match. I have to agree with you there. To see Dusty Rhodes in action, which I've seen him in the last pay-per-view challenge, whoever won the World Heavyweight title match between Harley Race and Ric Flair. I like to see how that match was built up from last Starcade. It was a long rivalry, as I saw, and it was more than just a match. It was, I have to say, it was a really great match to see 2 legends in the ring. And this is also another example of how WWE ruins characters, like how they ruined Dusty Rhodes. Went from putting him as a World Heavyweight Champion to a guy in polka dots.
Absolutely. Overall, not a bad pay-per-view. Starcade 84 from Greensboro. Pretty good stuff. I give it average, though. I give it 3 stars, the overall pay-per-view. Last Starcade got 4 stars. I give this one 3.
I have to give it a 3.5 just because it was a little better than, or actually it was a good pay-per-view. It just wasn't put up to my expectations, so.
I can roll with that. And next up, as we get into 1985, of course, WrestleMania is coming up. We got some WWE stuff coming up. The Great American Bash 85 is coming up. Make sure y'all subscribe, like the video. Check us out, man. We'll definitely, and if you guys want to send in reviews, we have no problem with putting your reviews up. No problem at all. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it. I hope it made sense. If you want to have any kind of discussion with us, feel free to comment. We'll talk back. Holla at y'all later. It's King and Sons Wrestling Show. Just doing what we do. Starcade 84. You've been reviewed. We out.